Well, good morning, everyone. Welcome to our Thursday morning trading room. Sorry for the delay here in getting the room going. What can I tell you? I'm technologically challenged. Screen share. Okay, you got the screen share going on. And we're looking now at the NASDAQ. Yesterday, of course, the markets were closed. And we're opening this morning actually with a bit of a downside gap. Actually, it's going to be easier to see here on the daily chart if I show you. My goodness, I'm having a couple of issues here this morning. There it is. There's my chart. Okay. So this was Tuesday's session. Here we are again, no trading Wednesday. And the market back down pretty much where we thought it might try to recover from. So I would expect to see some sort of support here. This big downside gap, well, it's going to do one of two things. It's either going to show increased downside momentum, or if the bulls recover from here, it's going to put a serious strain on the sellers. Yeah. David says, well, you do have to get up at 5 a.m. It does, it is a little early in these parts, yes. And last night was our grandson's Christmas recital. So, of course, we were a little bit late getting home. All right. Right now, the market definitely with more of a bearish slant on the morning. And it's still very early. I'm not sure I want to attempt a trade just yet. They're sure getting busy. All right, saw a bit of a rally down and now a rally higher. Look at that. We don't normally see these V-shape bottoms. I guess they're digesting everything that didn't happen yesterday in the markets. All right. While we're waiting for things to settle down a little bit, this coming Friday, is actually going to be our last trading room on the year. I thought we were flying out next Wednesday. Turns out we're flying out Tuesday. I will get an email out over the weekend with dates for the trading room. Just so you can mark it on your calendar. All right, so wow, now we got a monster bullish rally going on. Looks like the market is going to try to get into that rather substantial gap that we were looking at. There it is again on the daily. And when I'm looking at a chart, I try, my eye is naturally drawn toward bars like this, bars that are very, very strong, either bullish or bearish. So if you have a bar, a big looking bar, and it closes near the high, or in the case of a bear bar, closes near the low, that shows you a whole lot of momentum. So when I'm looking at this chart and I see prices trading back down here, well, this is where the buyers really dug in. This is another bar that you want to look for. These are sometimes called pin bars because they look like a stick pin. And it shows you, once again, a lot of price sensitivity. So we had buyers really getting busy here around 6,600 and then down here just below 6,500. Well, we're in that same neighborhood again, and there was a very, very bullish reaction. So it's reasonable to assume there should be another bullish reaction this time. Then, of course, as we get higher, as we get closer to 7,000 and 7,100, well, that's where all the big bear bars came in. And again, these pin style bars. So we would anticipate the same thing again. We could look for the market to rally, and then as we get closer to 7,000, and certainly as we get closer to 7,100, we could probably expect the sellers to start to push back. David's asking, is that a volume histogram on the bottom? Yes, it's just your basic volume chart. What's interesting about volume is that volume should match what's going on in your chart. What I mean by that is big bars should have big volume. Little bars should have little volume. Now, admittedly, this one is very, very low. But you're looking at a bar like this, the volume should be reduced. You're looking at a big bar like this, volume should be increased. What's interesting is when you start to get big volume on little bars, and that typically is a sign of a reverse. So back here a few months back, we had tiny little bars, but the volume was abnormally high given to what was going on. I think at this time I guess we were in the December contract already. But when you get tiny little bars with really big volume, and volume is a relative measure, so you're always comparing the volume relative to the bars preceding it. So these tiny little bars here should have had decreased volume. The volume should have been down here somewhere, and yet it was rather strong. that tells you there's a whole lot of trading going on. You don't always know whether it's more buying or more selling until, the market breaks. But if you're getting tiny bars with big volume, you're probably going to look at either a breakout or a reversal. Here too, we had a couple of clues. We had the tiny little pin bars. Every time the market tried to get above 77.50, it was rejected. Last time it got up there, you see we had some big bear bars. Well, same thing happened. And then, of course, we had the big follow through. So volume, very, very helpful. Difficult to interpret because it is a histogram. But if you kind of keep in the back of your mind that big bars require big volume, little bars should have little volume, and if the opposite starts to happen, look for either a breakout or a reverse. Ray says, Eric, I just came back to get a coffee and all I heard was mark your calendar. I was just mentioning that this Friday is going to be our last trading room for the year. I thought I wasn't flying out until the middle of next week, so we were going to do the room Monday, Tuesday. But turns out I'm flying out Tuesday. So thank goodness my wife reminded me, or I might have wondered where she was. So we're going to close up the trading room this Friday, and the week before Christmas tends to be a little bit of a gong show anyway, and certainly the week of Christmas, Boxing Day, New Year's Eve, trading does occur, and there will be some decent moves in there, but do be careful because the volume does tend to be a little bit thinner. All right, so now the big question is the market going to go up or is it going to go down? I'm maybe inclined to be a little bit more bullish, maybe. So I think I'm going to be on the alert here for another buying opportunity. Okay, we've got our bit of a pullback now. What time is it? Ooh, it's quarter to the hour, my least favorite time of the day to be trading. And yet, here we are. Good follow through on that number 3 signal. Ooh, really good follow through on that number 3 signal. Okay, I guess I shouldn't be quite so timid. We're going to get another pullback here. That one was a little quick. Ooh, we're still kind of bouncing around. I think I am going to use my stop limit order today. Now, stop limit order will limit my slippage to this value right here. So I won't get slipped 4 or 5 ticks. The most slippage I will accept is a single tick. That could mean, however, that the market will move right on past me. Personally, I'd like to see if the market moved into that opening range gap, that would get us up around 6,800. That would be a pretty easy trade. But here the sellers are trying to make a stand. All right, Ray says, I've been using the stop limit for a while and have had no problems getting my orders. Yeah, a market like the NASDAQ is normally liquid enough that it shouldn't be an issue. All right. We've got ourselves a kind of a continuation lower. Oh, are they going to keep going lower? Am I wrong looking for a reverse? I'm kind of holding out here for a number 2 signal, and I think I'm going to limit my order here to a manual trade and just take a single position. If it comes back now, ooh, with a number 2 signal, Eric, are you being a little bit too aggressive here? The trend keeps flip-flopping, so it's a little bit difficult to get your bearings. If there is a reverse, well, there's the number 2 signal now. Give me a second push on that. Come on, you guys. Give me a reversal bar. There we go. Okay, so there's my reverse bar. It's going to make it a little bit easier to try to get on board here with a number 2 versus just hopping in the old place and watching the market take you out on the low. By the way, it does seem as though the trend is down, so you can make a good argument for shorting. All right, let's see what we get. And with all this volatility here this morning, I may try to run this trade out a bit. Oh, look at that. Okay, well, let's put that away before I hurt myself. Okay, let's take a I was going to say, let's take a look at the eagle, see if we can get a better perspective of what's going on. Not really. All right, here come the buyers again. We're back into the hard edge where we would expect a reaction of sorts. The hawk already flashing a first micro macro cross. Let's see if we get a trend change right here. Our ATR keeps flip-flopping, and you know what? They're actually just moving a little bit too fast for me. Okay, we're getting a little bit more of a congestion. Ooh, Eric. You see, I'm trying to keep a lookout for what I might be able to consider a trading range. Once we have a trading range of sorts, then we can look for breakouts, retests, failures, and so on. If you are going to keep trading toward the end of the year, typically the markets do try to get bullish by year's end. I guess it's just like a psychological thing. You want to finish the year on a bullish note. Wow. All right. Well, they're in free fall right now. Not quite back to the low of the morning, but very, very close. Right here is where the day started, or bottomed out anyway. All right, this could be a better reversal. If we get there we go. There's the reverse bar, the second push bar. And this is still pretty aggressive here, but at least the ATR is in sync. Oh, I didn't get slipped. That's good. And I am going to try to run this one out a little bit. I'll leave my break even up here at the hard edge. All right, so I got the break even. I would have my profit objective. And I think I'm going to try to take it up here to the median line. That's that gold line right there. Ah, stinkers. You know, with all this volatility, I should have, well, should have, would have, could have, should have taken my profit on target. But we're kind of hanging above the ATR here at the moment. If that's the case, there should be another buying opportunity coming up. Ray says my ADX indicator is like a roller coaster. I'm waiting until it comes down, and I'm waiting for one or two trades. I've seen that I'm much better trading starting at 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern. All right, here we go with potential cloud crossover signal. We haven't seen a really good test of the extreme, so the problem with this signal is the stops pretty much need to go down here. While we're waiting for that, though, I'll deal with Ray's other question. Eric, would you comment on the break-even setting as -2, what that really does? All right, so if we set up our trade, let's say we're going to try that signal right there. We set it up like this. When the trade goes live, I have an auto break-even trigger that's about 3/4, 75 to 80% of the way to my profit target. When that break-even trigger gets hit, the stops will move from down here to whatever my break-even setting is. So currently it's break-even +1. So that will take it, make this bigger. There we go. So that will take it from down here, will take my stop to my entry +1 tick. If I had my break-even trigger set at -2, and this is my trade, once my trade goes live, I get my auto break-even button. And then as my break-even button gets hit, my trigger, my stop will automatically roll to my entry -2 ticks. So you can actually set a negative break-even. This is sometimes helpful if you think, you know, the market's extra volatile today. I need a little bit more elbow room. I want to hold my stops back just a little bit. I'm prepared to take a $10 loss. Likewise, you can protect more profit as well. I've known one fellow who likes to, when his break even gets hit, he'll go break even +5. Now he'll get stopped out quite a bit, but you know, he'll routinely grab 25 bucks unless there's a lot of momentum and the market hits his profit target. And then, of course, there's Scott, who likes to go break even +2, which really covers your commissions and fees. So you're really not out of pocket on your trade. But yeah, that's what the -2 will do. It's all relative to your entry point. All right, let's see what we're doing now. Oh, we have had a little bit more of a pullback, and here we are now with a little bit of a rally. All right, I'm going to call this a significant swing point right here. And you can see we've had a breakout and a retest. So I'm going to look for another buying opportunity. And I guess it's right there. It's my number 3 signal. And here's my second push on that. And you guys can probably hear that siren in the background. Somebody's having a bad start to their day. Okay, a quick little hit and run there. Did I get slipped? No, positive slippage. Very nice. Always better that way. Now let's just go over why that was perhaps a little bit more of a favorable trade. So the market moving very, very fast. Obviously, I missed several opportunities through here. But you're going to miss opportunities, so you shouldn't try to, get too excited when the market takes off without you. It's going to happen. But down here, so we've got the market coming down, and then all of a sudden we hit this little bit of a pause. Now we know before a market reverses, it almost always tends to retest, in this case, the lows. So we'll be looking for a test of the extreme. Prices go up, prices come down, and they're kind of holding this trading zone. Now they break out of the trading zone and they come back and retest it. Practically a textbook move right there. That's going to show up in a textbook somewhere. But what's significant about this is it looks as though we have a bottom in, at least for the short term. When that happens, we can anticipate 2 moves in the direction of the breakout. This move is move number 1. So now we can pretty much look for any buying opportunity. You could have taken this buy signal right here on the eagle. You could have taken this one on the hawk, on the hawk we would have had several buy signals you could take. You could have taken this one. You could have taken this one. You could have even taken this yellow bar one, which I don't normally take. But the point is, we kind of have a pretty good idea which way the market should be going. So you can look for any excuse to buy. Likewise on the Falcon, about the same time. Even a signal that wouldn't normally be classified as a signal, because the overall picture of the market is more bullish, you could take any of these signals, any of these buy signals. Here, of course, a very nice late filter entry signal with no problem going higher. And again, here on the Raptor. So down here, we had an early signal, which it looks like it unfolded a little bit quickly, but we had the number 1 signal, we had a number 3 signal, we had some discretionary signals, all of which went up to at least the high probability profit target. And good thing I took profit on target because they did not go any further. And look at this, here we are now again retesting. Chart's getting a little messy. Let's clean that up. So here we go again. We have a little bit of a trading range per se. And this, of course, that level right there, significant because this is where the buyers rallied from before, right? Now, if you deem this to be a breakout, you could put your just-in-case order down here below the lows. Obviously, if the market's going to continue lower, it has to take out this low, doesn't it? Now we faded back inside this range. I wouldn't necessarily, okay, well now I would say that the bearish bias is gone. But if it just drifts into the bottom end of the range, you can't really count the sellers out just yet. Okay, once again, very, very bullish looking here. Wow, what a fast move higher that was. Didn't even give me a chance to punch in with anything. All right, here we are at the top end of the range class. What are we anticipating? What are we looking for here? We're going to look for a reversal bar and a retest. Don't want to trust just the breakout. Although it looks like it would have worked out all right. Wow, what a day. For you Raptor traders, we technically have a number one signal up here, and it should be fine, but you should also notice that this is a little abnormal. It's not like your number one signal normally develops, you know, where there's a little bit more of a pullback, a little bit more of a hesitation to the change in trend. This is just boom, done. It's not to say that number one signal wouldn't work. It just means that you probably have to run a very, very broad stop to get that trade to work out for you. All right, so here now we have the bullish break. Again, you can put your just in case order up here. You could look for a buying opportunity now that we're here on the retest. We're going to get one here on the eagle. Oh boy, not a pretty picture here. The hawk, the falcon, both bearish. The raptor moderately bullish, but against the ATR, ooh baby. See if we get a second push on that number 3 signal. There we go. Not, oop, and that's out of reach. All right, let's try that again. Not the kind of signal that gives you a warm, fuzzy feeling, but here we go anyway. All right, I think we can pretty much close that up. Now, what's interesting is if, oh shoot, they're not going to recover. I was going to say if they recover here off the line and fail again. So what I was looking for is we're back down here toward the hard edge. If the market starts to recover a little bit now, then we really have the market in a bind, because at this point the buyers either have to rally the market or the sellers will take it away. If we had seen a little bit of a rally, I could have cornered this trade and thrown in a sell order below here as well, knowing that the market was now either having to go higher or having to go lower. How do I know that? Well, we've seen a breakout, haven't we? Even if you don't consider this as a range, this is a significant swing right here. So we've seen a breakout. Here's the retest. Here is the market trying to rally and unable to do so. Here they come down again, essentially still a retest, even though it's, a little bit deeper. And if they had tried to rally again, well, now it's do or die. Markets tend to do things in pairs. So if there's two pushes higher and they can't pull it off, then it's going to move the other way. And vice versa. If there's two pushes lower and the market can't sustain it, it's going to move the other way. But in this case, things just unfolded a little bit too quickly. It looks like that bar right there was all I got. And now we are back inside this rather broad trading range. The longer the trading range will still influence the market, as you can see. It still influenced the prices here. It's influencing prices here. But the older this gets, and at the moment it's only about 15 minutes old, it will become more stale. Almost looks like we're losing a little momentum here now. I'm debating buying in here again. We've got a bullish hawk, falcon now bullish, the raptor and eagle obviously bullish as well. Shoot, and now, they're not giving me a decent second push opportunity on any of these signals. Here's the number 3 signal. Somewhere around here, there should have been a little bit of a hesitation. Ah, man, you guys, you're just not playing nice today. Let's see. Ray's asking, on my Falcon screen, when I turn it on, it shows the long vertical red and green colors As the screen runs a few bars, the long vertical colors go away. Do you have any idea what causes that? No, I have seen it only occasionally. No, I'm sorry, I can't tell you. What you could try, if you open up your chart and you're not trading, you could try to either reload your historical data or reload your Ninja script. That's just kind of like a little refresh button, and it may reset your chart. It might be worth an email to Ben, though. Well, what's happening to our bullishness? We're stuck again. Here's our day so far. Tiny little day. Yeah, a bit of a crazy day right now. Lots of back and forth, huge ranges. I don't know about you. I find these big ranging days, while very interesting to watch, they can be very frustrating to try to trade. All right, now we're getting a sell signal, but we're kind of right in the middle of this sideways mess that we have going on. Let's see, are we hitting anything here trend line wise? Well, the Geiger counter is getting buried here on the short side. The number 3 signal already well past, but if I get a second push, I may throw an order in below there. I want to see a full bull bar. There we go. Now, again, not the warm, fuzzy trade, because we're right in the middle of this whole sideways trading range, right? Okay, well, we can close that one up. All right, we should, on the next rally, if we get a rally, we should produce a number one signal. In fact, well, there it is right there. I was going to say, in fact, you could throw a just in case order in above the high. We're going to get a trend change signal here on the Falcon, and we should get a trend change signal here on the Eagle as well. But it does concern me that we're still inside this trading range. In fact, you may interpret this as a rather large head and shoulders formation. So there's the left shoulder, there's the head, and this has the potential, or had the potential, of being the right shoulder, in which case you're probably going to look for a breakout lower. Some traders will start to short the breakout. The rest will wait for a retest and then look to short at that point there. A lot of waiting here today. Oh, I did get filled on that that number one signal. Now I've got a swing here. I've got a swing here. I may roll my stop in a little bit. There we go. Got the break even. Come on. You can do it. Just get up there. Oh, kissed it. There we go. Okay. Whew. That was tough. Nice little late filter entry signal right here. You know, I almost thought of trying to run that one out, but I'm glad I didn't. For obvious reasons. We've reversed on ourselves now. Now, if I were running my trading quota, I would have met my quota, both in terms of earnings and in terms of quantity of trades. So I've had my 2 winning trades. I've made my $100 per contract. My trading day would be done. You know, I've mentioned it before, but it's an important concept to wrap your head around. You don't need to be trading often. In fact, you'll find that will get you into trouble. If you can hold out for those situations that seem to have the best setup to them, like here's one, our Geiger counter, the needle is full on green. We've seen a little bit of a bullish rally. Let's see if we've broken. Yeah, see, we've broken a significant swing high right here. There was a very quick little retest, but it looks like we should get a proper retest. When prices come back down here, retest this zone, now we can be on the lookout for another buying opportunity, because we know the tendency of the market to make two moves in the direction of the breakout. So there's move one, and now you can be looking for move number two. And this opens you up to almost any buy signal. Here on the hawk, we have one right here. That was a quick little buy, easily finding your profit objective. Here on the falcon as well, we had a buy signal, even though it wasn't a signal we normally look for. The fact that, again, the market structure suggests another rally, had you gone in there, you would have your winning trade. Here now, a signal in sync. And likewise on the Raptor, you could consider this a hard edge bounce, even though we're a few ticks short of the hard edge. I do believe that one also found its profit objective. So that's pretty much trading in a nutshell right there. Looking for your opportunities and then acting on them when you have them. And if you miss it, so what? You miss it. There's always another. Here, for instance, we have a little bit of a sideways trading range. So now we're looking at a bearish break. Let's see if we get the retest. And we should get a retest down here somewhere, I think. There we go. Come on, give me a bull bar. There we go. Okay, so now you could put your just in case order in below here, knowing that if this retest that we're witnessing right now holds, the market has to head lower, doesn't it? And if we get a retest and a failure to head lower, well, then we can look to buy. Although the way things are unfolding here this morning, it's a little bit quick. We're not seeing the normal types of setups we usually see, and I'm using air quotes when I say normal. All right, bearish break. Here come the sellers. Depending how aggressive you want it to be, you could actually throw in a buy order above there. Oh, where'd it go? It did not show up. Okay, so here we are again. We could have our just in case order down here. All right, something's going on. Am I filled? Yes, I am. I'm filled. All right, for whatever reason, my order isn't showing up here. I'll throw in a profit order right here because I need to reset. I need to reboot my Ninja. Well, maybe not my Ninja, but certainly my trade manager. Come on. All right. Okay, I was just getting ready on my close button. If it went above this bar right here, I was going to manually close out the trade. And normally, what you should do if your system is not responding correctly, you should close out your trade immediately. But I'm going to try to make this one work. All right, well, I closed the trade out regardless. Well, that was very peculiar. Let's see if that happens again. Oh, it does too. All right. Well, let's see if the rest of it is okay. Okay, that one works. Okay, I'm not going to mess around with it right now, but that was odd. All right, so the sellers kind of breaking down toward the bottom end here of this little trading range that we've witnessed, and I would consider shorting. I think there's a selling opportunity here on a move lower. We've got a first micro macro cross lower. We're going to get a trend change signal on the Falcon. Here we are with the Raptor back down toward the bottom end. We're going to produce a number one signal, and there it is. Huh. All right, well, let's close that bad boy out. What a sideways grind. Okay, well, I think I'm not going to try anything else right now. At least until we get out of this sideways drift. We're in scalp mode for the remainder of the morning, and it sure looks like it. Just crazy, wild, frequent swings. Okay, a bearish break back to the median line, and then they stopped. So we saw the breakout here. Actually, here on the Eagle, let's take a look. It's a little easier to see. Back down toward these lows, bounce back inside the trading range. We're at the hard edge, so we expect a reaction. I would be open to a buy at this point. I would be open to a number 2 signal if I get it, which means a little bit of a retest, just to show me that the sellers are done. Nope, not going to give it to me. Stinkers. I don't know if we're quite at the high of the opening range. No, we're a little bit off of that still. The high of the day coming in around 67.31 quarter. Oh man. You know, I'm tempted to do something, but when I look at the context, it's going to be the trading equivalent of slamming your fingers on the car door. Here we have a number 1 signal. We have a second push opportunity. Ooh, and they slipped right past me on that. It took a little too long making up my mind on that one. So we had a number 1 signal. What I was thinking was, okay, here was the breakout. It didn't hold. They're going to try to break out the top end, because that's what they do. If they break out and they can't continue the breakout, they're going to try to break out the other side. So here's the number 1 signal. There's my second push opportunity. And it looks like it would have at least found my profit objective. And now they're pushing back. All right, the buyers couldn't rally the market now. Maybe it's time to get a little bit more bearish. The hawk, definitely bearish, as is the falcon. You might call this an early trend change signal on your raptor. And come on, give me a bull bar. There we go. And we have a bit of a second push opportunity on this one. Now it's an early cloud crossover because the clouds are not fully crossed, but they're almost all the way there. A little bit of a pullback. It's just sometimes an opportunity to get into the trade a little bit quicker. Now the cloud's fully crossed. Now the pullback. The next signal that prints will be a proper number one signal, if I get it. Well, that wasn't very nice. It just kind of goes back to the theme here, the context of the day. The trades that were profitable, we had something resembling a trend. The trades that are not profitable, we have no trend. You're going to find it works that way more often than not. That's not going to keep you from trying. Just know that if you wait for the market to show you a trend, you're likely to have a profitable trade. And if you don't, well, you pays your nickels, you takes your chances. When the market is this sideways, I'm halfway tempted to fade a signal, right? Because there's no follow through on any of the signals, or so it seems. I've never tried this, but just for the heck of it, here's a number 3 signal. What would happen if we look to short the number 3 signal? Instead of buying it, we're going to look to sell it. I'm not sure I'm going to try that with 2 contracts, but actually let's do it right on the signal bar. So there's the signal bar. We're going to short the signal bar. Now, bear in mind, we also had a buy signal, we had a sell signal. So this, we have a whole mixture of signals here to go from. See, and now we're getting a sell signal, so we should look to buy it. But just the whole lack of follow through on the signals, when the market is this way, this constipated, it makes me wonder what would happen if I faded the signal. Well, I'm going to take that trade to, oh, can't take it to break even. It was a little bit too slow there. Okay, now I can get it to break even. And, well, what do you know? It made the profit objective. Not something I would necessarily recommend. But when the market, like I say, it's so sideways, it's almost like it tees everything up and says, hey, look at me, I'm going to go higher. And then it goes lower. And likewise, looks like it's a perfect shorting opportunity. And then, of course, the market turns on its heels and rallies higher. For those of you who look for market divergence, it's probably all over the map right now. Every handful of bars, you're probably looking at divergence of some sort. And here now with a very tempting looking number one signal. Oh, and we're actually getting some follow through on that. A decent amount of follow through. Wow, look at that move. Where'd that come from? Well, not what I would call a typical day here today. We're working a 4-arrow consolidation here on the Hawk. Oh, we're going to get a macro pullback. We're going to get a late filter entry signal here on the Falcon. Problem setting up the trade risk-wise. So you got to risk way up here somewhere to make this trade fly. Can I do it that way? No, can't do that either. Well, there's the late filter entry. Let's see if I get a second push. There's the second push. I might be able to get by with a slightly tighter stop. What wild swings. It's almost behaving like a market that is very, very thin, but I think the volume not that bad today. No, volume's on par. It's not bad for the morning. All right, a late filter entry to buy now, and oh, not quite there. The trend line's trying to change color. So the late filter entry occurs. Filter goes out of sync, comes back into sync. Oh, darn. trend line changed color. Almost had a late filter entry signal to buy. And we have a number 3 signal now with a very nice second push entry opportunity. What this particular one does is, if we get filled here to the short side, it's going to take out these lows. There's going to be some buyers whose exit orders are right down here. Plus, we're going to get breakout sellers trying to short. And that has the potential of giving us a little downside kick. Come on now. There we go. Oh, you scoundrels. What a terrible move higher. Out of nowhere. I'm not liking this added volatility here this morning. We should have seen better follow through on that short. It is getting a little late in the day as well. Well, we're sneaking up on the lunch hour. No, I have a bad feeling they're gonna tag me out on this. We're making some higher swings. What I need to see is a break here below, say, 66.88. Oh, thanks, Floyd. Floyd says crude report out at the top of the hour, and it's not going to matter. All right, well, there you go. You see, the more often you try to trade, the more likely you are to suck up a stinker. If you are going to continue trading today, well, we're in full-on scalp mode for the rest of the morning. So anticipate more chop, more back and forth. We have broken here, this little swing high. So I would think a retest and another buy is feasible. Or not. Look at that. There they go, the bottom slipping back into the trading range. All right, gang. I will see you again tomorrow. I've got a meeting here at the top of the hour, so I'm just going to take a few minutes to get ready for that. And yeah, I'll catch you Friday. So be careful. It's a very, very difficult day today, as you can see. Talk to you tomorrow. Bye for now.